Welcome to Virtual Tour Cafe 3.0. My name's Tim Denbo. I'm the President and CEO of Virtual Tour Cafe. Today, this webinar is specifically for Space Coast Association FlexMLS users and members. So what we're going to do today is walk you through the new Virtual Tour Cafe 3.0. If you've already used Virtual Tour Cafe in the past, it's very similar, but we've added a little more graphical user interface. We've added some new features and benefits, and we will walk you through how to create a virtual tour, flyer, and video, all in about 15 minutes. However, we're going to do it in about an hour's time since we're giving you some instructions on its use. We're not just doing it, okay? So I want to walk you through from the beginning to the end, so to speak. We won't go into a lot of the advanced features. There's so many things to be aware of in Virtual Tour Cafe 3.0, but we do want to give you at least an overview of some of those advanced features and get you started with how to create a virtual tour and distribute that virtual tour. The screen you're looking at now is just a name that we're using, Kevin Fox. My name is Tim Denbo. That is a picture of me though, so you see my smiley face there, and we're going to pretend as if I am a RE/MAX agent and I'm going to be creating a virtual tour. Now, when you get signed up with Virtual Tour Cafe, first I just want to go over some logistics for you. Space Coast Association of Realtors has provided you, the member, a free member benefit using Virtual Tour Cafe. So there is no fee for you to use our service. Zero, nothing, not even $1. So you can sign up by going into your Space Coast Association of Realtors and go to the FlexMLS, I believe it's under products, and you will select Virtual Tour Cafe as the product that you want to sign up for. It will sign you up with your own Virtual Tour Cafe account, and then you'll be able to connect to your Virtual Tour Cafe account through your Space Coast and FlexMLS through what is called a single sign-on, meaning that once you're signed into your FlexMLS and Space Coast, you are already signed in to Virtual Tour Cafe. So if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to go ahead and get your account set up today so that you can start using Virtual Tour Cafe. Once you're signed up, you'll be able to add your agent profile information, such as your picture, your phone number, all of this. Simply click on the silhouette photo. It'll be just a silhouette there if you haven't put in your picture or anything. And you can upload images, meaning your profile picture, by choosing File and simply adding the picture of yourself, your agent photo. You can remove and update it if you change your photo. You know, we do that every 10, 15, 20 years. Then you can go to your personal information, put in your license, your first, last name, your username. Again, you don't need to use this because you will be able to sign in directly through the FlexMLS from your products page. However, if you ever need to, for whatever reason, go to VirtualTourCafe.com, click on the login, and you can put in your username and password so you can change those here. These are different from your FlexMLS and your Space Coast passwords. These are specific to Virtual Tour Cafe. You can put in anything you want as the password. It is case sensitive, but it doesn't care whether you put in the number 1 or upper and lower case, entire words, etc. So whatever is easy for you to remember, but again, you don't need to remember it unless you're trying to log in directly without going through the Space Coast and FlexMLS, which we encourage you to do because it's just so much easier. Once you're in there, you can just connect to the Virtual Tour Cafe. Fill in this information. You don't need to do anything on the My Cafe Gallery page. This is a web page that Virtual Tour Cafe creates for you automatically that will show all of your Virtual Tour Cafe tours in one place. It's a web page that we create for you automatically. You can put this code, this inventory button, by right-clicking over here and copying that, and you can put it into your website if you want to have a link to all your virtual tours in one place. This is called your My Cafe Gallery. This inventory button will put this button that you see here, this gold button, on your website if you choose to do that, so that people can click on it and see your inventory or your virtual tours, etc. Leave the name alone unless you really need to change it. If you do change it, be aware that you cannot use any special characters and no spaces. The images, the personal information, the My Cafe gallery is all under what is called Agent Profile, which is under your settings menu. All of our menus will be similar to this. You'll have a main menu such as Settings, which we've gone to here simply by clicking on the profile picture. Under the Settings, there's Agent Profile, Company Information, where you can add your company logo, your company banner. You can choose the file and add it from your own computer, or you can choose from our list of recognizable brokerages. However, like I say, if you're not using or a member of one of these brokerages, you can create your own and upload it, or you can ask us to help you, and we'd be happy to help you create your own banner. The logos are also the same thing. You can either choose from our list of logos, or you can choose a file from your computer and add your logo. Again, if you need help here, please just email us, call us. We'll be happy to help you with that. Company information, the same thing as the agent page. Fill in the company information, update it on the bottom. You can change your default email and phone options, meaning do you want your email to show up on the tour or the video or the flyer or the gallery? Do you want your phone, etc.? We give you control over how and where you want your information shared. Preferences will also give you ability to control how your pictures are uploaded when they're brought in, imported from your MLS, or if you add your own pictures, if you want our system to automatically increase the brightness, the contrast, the lightness, the saturation, the color balance. All of these things in the image preferences under the settings menu will allow you to make those changes. Now there's a lot of things here under the settings tab, such as themes default, background music, payment profiles, which you don't really need to worry about since it's all taken care of for you, your social network settings, YouTube, etc. Now we're not going to have time to go over everything today, so I just want to touch on some of the basics. Themes default is one that you may want to go into before you even start creating any tours. So again, we're going to settings. We're under the settings menu, choosing the themes, and in the themes you can choose your tour theme and your flyer theme. Now I'm going to choose the Remax theme here, or I'm going to choose, maybe I want the Remax collections, this one down here. So you can choose the design, the color scheme that you want, and notice that it is a color scheme. It's not necessarily related to the it's not going to brand you as Remax. It's only going to use the color themes that you see here. So you can save it with that color theme. And then you can also choose from our flyer themes. Now you'll want to kind of take a look at the different flyer themes before you choose which one you want here. They're just displayed as the flyer name. 1, 2, 3, 4 are one-sided flyers. 5, 6, 7, 8 are two-sided flyers. Let's leave it on the default for now, and you can then come back anytime once you play around with it and see the different flyers and decide which one you like. We're also going to be adding more flyers, so you'll have even more choices. The same thing with the themes. In the tour themes, you have with flyer themes. So if we want to choose a different theme, we can do that. And let's just keep it on that one, and we'll save it. And we'll go back to the top of the screen, and let's go back to the My Cafe. My Cafe is the home page. You can get there also by simply clicking on the Virtual Tour Cafe logo. It takes you back to your home page, your welcome page. Now you'll notice that here there's a getting started with some quick tips. There's a first tour, easy steps 1, 2, 3. However, let me tell you something. You guys are so fortunate to be a member of Space Coast Association. It's even easier than the easy steps 1, 2, 3. So ignore that one. You don't need it. You're going to go right to the Manage Image Sets or you can click on image sets on the top of the screen, either one. So we're going to go here and let's go ahead and create our first tour. Click on image sets or advanced users manage image sets. It'll take you to the same place. Now here we are on our image set screen, manage your image sets. We call it an image set because it creates a virtual tour, a flyer, and a video all at the same time. You even have control over whether you create only a flyer, only a tour, only a video, or a combination thereof. So rather than calling it managing your virtual tours, it's managing your image sets because everything is image centric. Now you're going to really love some of the new features that we've added to VirtualTourCafe 3.0. So let me walk you through how to create a virtual tour, flyer, and video in just a few simple clicks. Notice that we now have two menus here, Actions and Distribute. Under each of the menus at the top of the screen, such as Tours, you'll notice that there are different menus on the top of the screen, and then each one of these menus has a subset of menus. Okay? If we click on Flyers, you'll notice that you have a subset of menus underneath the Flyers menu as well. So first thing I just want to kind of get across is the new structure of the menus compared to the old system. The old system had the menus on the right. Now the menus are on the top of the screen, and we can create an image set. We can select and edit an image set. You can even duplicate an image set, which is a new feature that we've added. So if you have, let's say you have a subdivision where you have a lot of the same pictures of the park, of the community center, etc., you can duplicate an image set. Or maybe you have a property where there's two like units right next to each other or in the same building. You can duplicate and simply change the information that you need to. You can delete image sets. You can look at the service links, which I'll explain later, other links, and traffic report. That's all underneath the Actions menu. We're going to start by creating a virtual tour, e-flyer, and video by creating an image set. Click once on Create Image Set. Now remember I told you that it's even easier for you than it is for all of our other members across the United States and Canada. Well, that's because we can import the data and images directly from your MLS. So if you notice on the top of the screen here, it'll say Create Image Set from MLS. Now there are two options, but I want to make it real clear that you're most likely going to want to use the first option, which is Import MLS Data Images. The second option will only import the data. It will not bring in the images, the pictures. So if you have a need to import just the data and you want to add your own pictures, then you can do that. However, 99% of the time, I would imagine you're going to use the Import MLS Data and Images. Now, one of the things we also allow you to do is after you've done that, you can also add more pictures, more videos, more panoramas, and choose whether you want all three services or just one or two. Most likely, again, by default, we leave these all on. We expect that 99% of our customers want to create a virtual tour, a flyer, and a video all at the same time. Okay? So let's go ahead and click on Import MLS Data and Images. It's going to give you this pop-up screen that asks you for your property ID number. Now we're just going to use a property that is out there on the MLS right now, and again, we're not going to distribute this or do anything with it. We're just using it for the demonstration purposes here. So we're going to bring in a property using the MLS number 761242. I'm going to click on Submit. It's running out there. Those little internet people just ran to the Flex MLS system, pulled all that data and images, and already it's done. Now if you scroll down, you'll see on the bottom of the screen here it says your import has completed. Add any additional images, videos, panoramas, and click the Save button on the bottom of the screen here, right here. So notice that we've already got in here the city, the state, the status for sale, the caption title of it, the price, the MLS number. Don't worry about property type. It is already selected for you. It just shows that by default. on this screen, but it is already selected. It's already brought in all the information necessary here for your listing. Now, if we wanted to, you could add a video simply by clicking on video, click on plus, and add your own video. You can add videos that are up to 50 megabytes in size. That's up to about a 1-minute video if the video is saved in a format that is somewhat condensed, not real large format. 50 megabytes is a pretty good size file, but there are certainly a lot of videos a lot bigger than that. So be sure you're aware of that your videos need to be under 50 megabytes in size. Your pictures, if you do add any of your own pictures directly, the optimum picture size is 1075 by 768 pixels. Now, you really don't need to worry about that because you're going to be importing your own pictures from the MLS, and it's going to resize them properly for you. So just be aware of that if you ever need to. And panoramas, you can also, again, most people, if they're using panoramas, if you are using panoramas, just be aware that the size, it should be no larger than 4,096 pixels wide, 4096 pixels wide. Now it can be, the height doesn't matter. A panorama is several images stitched, and our system only supports full 360 panoramas. So that's generally going to be about 10 or 12 images stitched together to create a panorama where it looks like you're looking all the way around the room or all the way around the neighborhood in the front of the house or in the backyard. So just be sure that your panoramas are no larger than 4096 pixels wide. Your images should be no larger than about double the 1075 by 768, which is the optimal. That's the exact size that our system is going to resize them for. Also, just since we're talking about sizes here, banners, if you do want to upload your own banner, the size that you will want to have that banner is 1075 pixels wide by 150 pixels tall. That's the optimum size. If it's slightly different, it's going to resize it to fit that. Your logo can be 150 by 150 or a minimum of 150 by 150, and your agent photo should be a minimum of 150 by 150 pixels. Okay? Again, I don't expect you to remember all that. We will have that on the site here that you can get information, get help to know those things, and also you can call us anytime. Okay? So once we've added that, we're simply going to go down to the bottom of the screen and click on Save. It's now grabbing all those pictures, it's bringing them all in, and look at that, before I can even finish my sentence, it's got the pictures here, and it's pulled them all in the order that they were in the MLS. Now, if you don't like that order, if you want to rearrange them, you can simply drag and drop any image from one location to another. So if you want to move these pictures around, simply drag them, drop them in a new location. Drag and drop. Okay? It's just like playing solitaire. It's a lot easier than renumbering the images and trying to remember which one you want where. Simply drag it and drop it to another location. So if we want to put this backyard photo down on the bottom, simply drag it down to the bottom all the way, and there it is with the crystal, can't read it there, Crystal Lakes, I think. So you have it right there on the bottom of the screen. The same thing is true with the videos and panoramas. They will look just like an image, or they'll be in a place just like an image here. The panoramas look longer, and the videos will simply be a holding place there for the video, and you can drag and drop them in any location you want. So if you wanted to start off with a video, then go into some pictures and a panorama, you can do that with the new VirtualTourCafe 3.0. That's one of the big features that we've added, is that you can actually manipulate or rearrange your pictures, your images, your panoramas, your videos, all on the same screen. Now we'll go ahead and set up an advanced webinar also for you. So for those of you that want to know more about the videos and panoramas, maybe even how to create your own panoramas if you've never done that before, we can do other webinars as well that will take you into some specific topics. So let us know at the end of this webinar If there's some specific topics you'd like us to cover in another webinar, we'll be happy to do that for you guys, okay? So notice up here, even at this point, after you've already created your image set, so we've already done this, we've already got these pictures here, we've rearranged them, we can add videos, we can add images, we can edit the images, download images, delete them, all sorts of things. Now, one of the things you may want to do is change the caption or the title of each image. You don't have to, but if you want to, by default, it's pulling in the name of the file, which is the MLS number from your MLS listing. So we could type front of home. We could type kitchen. It's kind of obvious, but you know, if you want to, or you could put granite, counters, and island. Family room and kitchen. Anything you want. If you simply want it to have no captions, so it doesn't say anything there, simply erase the captions and they will not have any title or caption to them at all. Be sure to click on the save on the top of the screen here in the top right anytime you change captions. When you rearrange images, our system can automatically change that rearranging. However, it can't do the same thing for captions. So you do need to save your captions, and you'll see the data saved successfully there. Okay, once you've rearranged the images, you've changed the captions, maybe you've added a video or edited an image. Now, what do we mean by edit images? Well, you can select an image and you can click on Edit Image, or if you see the little pencil in the corner there, click on that pencil, and our system has a built-in editor. In this editor, you can change the brightness, the contrast, the lightness, the saturation, the hue, the color balance. Maybe you want more or less, red or magenta or blue or green, etc. You can rotate the image if you have an image that is crooked, or you want to rotate it for whatever reason, and you can crop images. All of this is built into the system. Even after you upload your images, you can then edit those images in the image editor. Okay, once you've made any changes, save those changes, and we can move on to another topic, which is the property information and the amenities. Now, we've already pulled this in. Quite frankly, folks, if you wanted to, you're done right now. You could simply post this to your listing, you could distribute it, you could send the links to your customers. It's all done. But I want to show you how you can make some additional changes or edits if you wish. So let's check the property information. We're still on the Image Sets tab. We're just scrolling over here. See the scroll bar? So this menu has a lot of options under the Image Set tools. And one of those is property information, and another one is amenities. We're going to click on property information, and we're going to see that it's already brought in the caption, the title from the MLS. It's already brought in the description from the MLS. If we look at the features, we've already got the features added into it. If there's any feature that you want to add or change, you can do that. Simply click and add any feature update that you want to. Same thing with pricing. The pricing, though, if it changes on your MLS, it's going to reflect it in the virtual tour. It may take it an hour or two, but it's going to reflect that price change in your virtual tour as well. The location information, the street, the notice, remember I said that the property type was already selected for you, single family home. It's already done. We didn't have to add anything there in the beginning. The neighborhood, if you have a specific name that people might Google search or something else for the neighborhood, you can add that in here. You don't need to have the latitude or longitude, but our system does pull it in case it's not findable on Google Maps, such as a vacant lot, something like that. Area school links you don't need to do anything with. That's really for our customers that are outside of the United States, because we don't have a way of pulling in their schools from other than from the United States. So that would only be if you're in another country, and I think most of you are all right here in the United States of the great America. All right, documents and forms. Now I want to show you this because this is something that would not be pulled in from your MLS. This is a great way of getting some lead capture or additional lead capture. Leave the lead capture to yes. Type in a name such as neighborhood news or something else that you want. Choose the file from your computer. Now, I'm not going to add one right now, but you can choose a file such as maybe you want to put in your own flyer that you've created. Maybe you have a floor plan that you want people to be able to download, not just view it in the virtual tour. Maybe you have disclosures that you want to add as a document. Maybe you have a neighborhood news report that you want to be able to include. Anything that you think might be of interest to potential buyers that they're going to click on to download, it's going to send you a lead. It's going to tell you who downloaded that file and which file they downloaded. So you can add more documents, more than just one. So right now this is just one document. Click on Add Documents. If you want to add a second one, a third one, a fourth one, you can add multiple documents to your virtual tour. Simply choose the file, give it a name. Password, notice, is optional. I recommend not using password unless it is something that is that requires it. And you'll have to decide whether it requires it or if you want to use it. If you do add password, it means that nobody will be able to download that document unless they email or call you and ask you for the password, and then you can find out who they are and decide if you want to give them that password. The password is case sensitive, meaning uppercase, lowercase. So if you type in something with a capital P and a small a and a small s and a small s and a small w, and you spell out the word password as your password, then be sure to let the people know that call asking for the password which letters are uppercase and lowercase. We don't require anything specific, so the password could be the number 1 or the password could be a word or phrases. Okay? When you're done with that, save it if you do add any documents or forms to your virtual tour, and a new icon will show up on the virtual tour allowing people to download those documents. So we've just checked and or made any changes that we wanted to the property information. We've saved it. We're going to close that screen and we're going to go into the amenities. Amenities, some people also call features. So features, amenities, just be aware that this is where you add things like the dishwasher, the ice maker, the oven, built-in oven, the trash compactor, the range oven, gas range, etc., etc. Now notice several things are already selected. It pulled in the information that it was able to match up with your listing. Notice we have 4 different titles here or different menus to choose from. So the interior amenities, it looks like it's got tile floor, but it didn't select anything else. So maybe there was nothing else in the listing, or maybe it just wasn't able to match them exactly. If you need to add other things, simply click on those. It's a toggle switch on and off. Okay? When you save those, when you make changes, go ahead and save those and go on to another amenity screen such as exterior amenities. If there's anything you want to add there, it has a screened lanai, it has a side yard, it's a private dock, whatever it is, just be sure to save your changes when you're done. And then you can go to the community amenities, and it's got laundry on site and storage space. So again, toggle switch to anything that you want to turn on. You can even add your own amenities. Now, we do recommend that when you add amenities, only add those things that you're going to reuse. In other words, maybe there's not an amenity for a feature that is typical for houses that you list, because when you add that amenity, it will show up in the future for your next listings as an available amenity for you to use. So you don't have to keep adding it each time. Just add it to whichever of these choices you believe it best fits the category. It doesn't really matter to the system or to us. It's just whichever you feel is the appropriate category, because that's where it'll show up in the virtual tour. Once you're done, you save your changes and you close this screen. So again, remember what I said before, that this is all optional. It already pulled in the amenities that it found in the listing that we could match up. However, If there were things that were missed or that you wanted to add to the virtual tour that you couldn't add in the listing or that just didn't show up, you can do that here. Once you've got all those changes done, you can save your listing again. It's already saved, but if you just want to take an extra precaution and save it again. And let's go see what we've done by looking at the virtual tour. Again, we're done with this, but we want to look at it and see what we've done, since this is obviously a training class and we want to let you see what you've done. If you were doing this for real and you were in a hurry, you could simply, under the Image Sets tab, so right here under Image Sets, at this point you could select this image set, you could make it visible, which means that anybody that has the link can view this. It does not mean that it's being distributed out without you distributing it, but it means that the link is visible. So now if you go to the service links, you can select it, click on service links, and now you have a branded link for this virtual tour. And don't worry about video or flyer, because those are all included in the tour link. And you have an MLS link here. But again, you don't need to worry about the MLS link because we're going to send it to your MLS listing automatically. But the branded link is one that you would want to send to your seller clients, to your potential buyer clients, etc. Now, email links is to send it to the admin in your office. Maybe you want to send it to yourself so you have these links handy. If somebody calls and asks you about seeing the virtual tour or seeing the property, you can send them a link real easily by keeping it in your email. I do not recommend you use this email links to email it to your clients, because they might be confused when they get a email with all of these links on it. You just want to copy and paste. Select a link, right-click it, copy it, put it in your computer's memory, go to your email, paste that link into your email by right-clicking and paste to send it. Now, there's other ways you can send the virtual tour to customers. I'm just showing you one of the ways here by using the service links. Okay? So if you were in a hurry, you could simply select it, use the links, go to the Distribute menu, click on Distribute Tour. Now, I want to be clear here that Zillow has made some recent changes, and the only listing that is going to be sent to Zillow today is a rental listing. Otherwise, Zillow is not allowing the links to be sent, but we are working with Zillow to get that accepted. They made some recent changes which required us to, so to speak, reauthorize the ability of sending to Zillow from our customers, such as yourselves, where the information is pulled directly from the MLS. So because we are a national service, we're having to jump through some hoops to make some changes with that, but we should be able to have that here real soon. Realtor.com. But feel free to go ahead and just click on that, click on the Realtor.com, homes. Now the Twitter, the Facebook requires, and Pinterest and LinkedIn require you to set those up prior. So if you'll notice, if I try to click on that, it'll say that I'm not authorized because I need to first set up my social media network sharing, and you do that from the settings tab. So we're going to leave that off for now, and we're just going to select those. But again, this is a real listing, so we're not going to do any of these things. We're going to turn them all off. And also the video, you'll want to turn on the YouTube and the TrueVio, which sends it out to AOL Video, Yahoo Video, and about a dozen different video sites. And you would simply save that and distribute your tour to these different locations. Now, remember I mentioned that you can also just send your listing, your virtual tour, to your listing. You would do that right here under the Distribute menu with Send Virtual Tour to Listing, simply by clicking on this and logging in to your Spark, your Flex MLS login. Now again, we're not going to actually do this, so I'm going to bring us back here, but that's how you would do it if you are actually sending this to your listing, and just follow the instructions, follow the steps once you get logged in there, and it will send the virtual tour to your listing. That's under the Distribute menu. Just click on Image Sets, click on Distribute, select the image set, and you can go through these different distributions. You can also post it to Craigslist. The video promotion that we just talked about, distributing the video, the single property domain, which you can add a single property domain, lots of options for you to do here under the Image Sets tab. But let's go back and look at the virtual tour that we've created. Under the Tours tab is where you'll see all your virtual tours. Under the Flyers tab is where you'll see the same thing but as a flyer, and under Videos the same thing but as a video. Now the reason we separate those out is so that you can choose which images show up on which service. We call these services: Tours, Flyers, and Videos. But let's keep this as simple as we can for right now. Under the Tours tab, we're going to select our tour that we just created, and let's view the tour. Now, I don't believe you can hear the music on your side, or maybe you could, and if you could, I'm going to turn it off here so you don't hear it. So I don't think you can hear it now. If you can't hear it now, that's a good thing, because now I want to kind of walk you through what's on the screen here. So I've muted the music, and so you should not be disturbed by that. And I want to show you these menus that are across the top of the screen. So you have a share menu. Remember I said you can share your virtual tour other ways as well. You can just send to a friend right here under the share menu, and anybody watching the virtual tour can send it to a friend. Under the Tools menu, you can look at the map view. The map view will show where the property is on the Google Maps down here on the bottom of the screen. Notice that our new design for VirtualTourCafe 3.0 is more like a full-page website for your virtual tour, as opposed to the smaller screen that you may be used to on our previous version, or even others that are out there as well. So it's very similar to a single property domain. It's a full website for your virtual tour. So under the Tools menu, you have the map view, you have aerial view. You can change it to aerial view just like a satellite view, and you can look at where that property is from a satellite. Again, what you're looking at here is the virtual tour that potential buyers would be looking at, so they can see, okay, where is this located? Now I can see where this is. Okay. And they can zoom in, they can look at they can also change it right here to the map view, to the satellite view, even to the terrain view. Okay. So you can make the different choices here. There's the terrain view, and you can also share on Facebook and Twitter right here on the screen. Notice there's also a full screen button here where you can click on this up arrow right there for full screen, and you can look at the images in full screen view. So you have the full screen view. Escape button takes you back to the normal view. You have all the information for yourself. We believe that branding for you and your brokerage is just as important as branding or marketing of the property itself. So you want to be marketing yourself as well as you want to be marketing the property as well. So we also have on the top here virtual tour, where you can watch the virtual tour, gallery, where you can look at the images one by one. So if your potential viewers want to just look at each image one by one, they can do that here. They can also go to full screen on the gallery view. They can go back to the virtual tour and continue watching it as a tour. They can go to the details and look at the property information. Remember, we talked about that. The description, all the property information is right there. They can go to the amenities right here, and there's all the amenities that we've selected. Close that screen, and there's a printable flyer that we've already created. So we can customize this flyer, but notice without us doing anything else other than importing the images and data, we've created the virtual tour and a flyer and a video that gets posted overnight through YouTube, all in one step. Okay? So the flyer's been created. It's already there on the tour. They have contact information where they can get information about you. They can contact you directly here from the virtual tour, sending you information saying, hey, I'd like for you to call me. They can put comments in there. They can try to schedule an appointment with you. I say try because you're so busy, you might have to rearrange the time that they're wanting to see you. But they can fill out this screen. They can put in the time that is best for them to be contacted, and they can schedule an appointment with you or attempt to schedule an appointment with you and work something out there. Remember I mentioned the My Cafe Gallery. This is the page that shows all your virtual tours in one place. Well, we just have one right now for this agent that's active, for this dummy agent that we've created. Wait a second, I'm that dummy. Okay, so we've created this dummy agent with the one property so far, but as you get more properties on here, it's going to show all your virtual tours in one place. And when you sell them, it's going to put a big sold across the corner of that screen as well. So we've got all this information here, area schools, etc., the mortgage calculator, walk score, all of this is integrated into the virtual tour automatically. With the area schools, it's going to pull up the area schools for that zip code, what schools are around that neighborhood, how far they are, all that sort of information. All of this has been automatically created for you. Now you can also, like I say, customize, or you can change the theme that you're using. You can change the banner that you're using, your agent profile picture, etc. All this information can be changed. It's all customizable. So let's come back here to the virtual tour, and notice again we're under the Tours tab, and on the Tours tab we can edit the tour, we can view the tour, and we can save the tour to our desktop, which will save it into a zip folder on your computer on your desktop. Now let's select this image set and let's go into the Edit Tour. In the Edit Tour in the Tours tab, now remember we're on the Tours tab, it's different from the Image Sets tab. When you rearrange images on the Image Sets tab, it rearranges the images for all three services, meaning the tour, the flyer, and the video. However, if I want to rearrange the images just for the virtual tour, or maybe I don't want a particular image to show up on the virtual tour, but I do want it to show up on the flyer and the video, I have that control. Now, don't let this be overwhelming if I'm getting into too much stuff here. We've already covered how to create a virtual tour, how to distribute it, how to change the theme, how to distribute it to the different sites as well as to your own listing. All of that is behind us. Now we're looking at optional features that you can use if you want to. So you can turn on and off images on any one of these services, meaning maybe on flyers, which by the way on flyers you're only allowed to have up to 8 images on the flyer, so you can choose which 8 images you want to show up on that flyer. You don't have to use the ones that are automatically selected in our default. Same thing with the video. If you have 40 or 50 or 60 images, the video is going to be too long. Nobody's going to want to watch that. So you might narrow that down to under 20 or 30 at the very most images on your videos. So we give you that flexibility to be able to rearrange the images, turn on and off images so you don't have to delete them from any particular service that you want them to show up on or not show up on. Now, once we're in the Tours tab and we're on this screen, another thing that we can turn on is what's called the Ken Burns effect. Now, Ken Burns is a documentary filmmaker that came up with a technique to allow still images to almost look like their video images by adding movement to them. Now, we've removed some of the complicated options under the Ken Burns from the past, and we've made it real simple. You can either turn on or off the Ken Burns for an entire tour, or once it's turned on or turned off, you can then turn it on or off for any particular image. If you look on each image, you'll see these 3 radio buttons on the bottom. The middle radio button is for your caption, the title of the image. You can change the font size, the color of the font, and where that title shows up on the top, in the middle, on the bottom of that image. On the next radio tab, you can turn on or off Ken Burns. So if you want it on for the entire image set, but you want it off on a particular image, you have the option of doing that. Each of these images can be changed by either rearranging them or using the radio buttons to change the image captions, the Ken Burns movement, etc. When you've made changes, click on the Save. Notice on the top of the screen here, or right above our images, where our menu bar is, the menu bar now has 3 menu bars when we're in the Tours tab. Most of your customization is in the Tours tab. In the Tours tab, besides these basic options that you have real basic options here, or I should say, besides the action options that you have here, you have basic options. You can change menu options, what shows up on the menus on the virtual tour. You can choose different background music. We have over 50 different background music options. So if you want to choose one of these different background music options, simply click on it and you'll hear that music. So see if there's a particular music that you like. Listen to it, see if that's what you like, and if you do, then you can go ahead and use that music. Okay, once you like it, save it, close the screen, and now that will be the music for this particular tour. Now, if you want to change the music for all your tours, you would do that under the Settings tab. Settings tab is where you make what's called default changes. So if you wanted to change the default music options, you would go into your Settings tab. All of these different options are options for all of your tours going forward, not just the one tour, such as the Ken Burns effect. You can turn on or off as a default for all your tours going forward. It will not replace those that you previously created, but it will make a default setting change for the future. So under the Settings tab, you have all these different options that you can change. Background music right here. You want to change the background music as a default so that it uses a particular one going forward. Simply change that, save that change. Same thing with our social networking. You simply click on the different options that you want to authorize for the social networking, and you do that in the default settings. So I just kind of wanted to jump over to show you, if you're thinking that you have to do this on every one of your tours to change the music, you don't have to. But the option is there. If you want to change the music on a particular tour, you can do that. Simply go into the tour itself, go to the basic menu, and change the background music. You can add tour narration. You can add additional property information and amenities, or see what they are here. You can add an open house announcement. You can put in the date, what time it's from, what time it's to, and save that. You can add a newsletter form, such as if you're using Aweber or if you're using Pop-A-Note. These services allow you to embed or add the sign-up for your newsletter into services such as ours. So we've added that feature so that you can add a newsletter sign-up form to your virtual tour if you're using a newsletter service such as Pop-A-Note or Aweber. Okay? Under the advanced menu option, and again, we're going through kind of a lot of these very quickly, kind of as an overview. Just want to show you how you can make changes or where these things are to help you get started. And again, I do encourage you, let us know what kind of advanced webinars you'd like for us to show so that we can be sure to include those for future reference to be able to have a webinar on a particular topic. Let us know what those topics are. Let us know what we didn't cover well enough today that you'd really like to have a webinar specifically on. Or you know what? You can call us, email us, and we'll be happy to work with you individually and help you with any questions, give you kind of a personal one-on-one training with any particular area that you're having trouble with. Okay, under the advanced menu, again, I just kind of want to bring us back to where we are. We're on the Tours tab, we're editing a particular tour, and we're under the advanced menu. You can change the theme for this particular tour. You don't have to have the same theme on all your tours. You can change it on each individual tour. Again, you set it as a default in the settings, but then you can change it on an individual tour. You can add or change your company banner. You can add a co-listing agent. You can add floor plans. Once you've added the floor plans, you can use the floor plan hotspot designer to connect areas of the floor plan to your pictures, your videos, your panoramas, etc. You can also add panoramas right here in the advanced menu, but again, you can add those when you're creating the image set in the very beginning as well. You can add additional YouTube links if you've got a video that you don't want to add into the virtual tour, but you simply want to allow people to see that video in your virtual tour. You can add YouTube links as well. And we've added a feature that you may or may not have heard of, which is called 3D walkthrough home tours. Now there's a camera that came out by a company called Matterport. Matterport out of the San Jose, San Francisco, Silicon Valley area created a camera and software to allow people such as yourself or your brokerage or professional photographers. We have professional photographers in different parts of the country. If you're interested in having us have photographers in your area, let us know that. We're adding photographers around the country. So the photographers, if they have, or if you or your brokerage has a Matterport 3D camera, you can create a 3D walkthrough home tour, and you simply add the link, the embed code, into the Virtual Tour Cafe embed code screen here, and that 3D walkthrough will show up in your virtual tour. So we've incorporated that technology into Virtual Tour Cafe so you can add your own 3D walkthroughs. If you have either yourself creating one or if you have a photographer that's created one, you can add it from that as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Flyers tab. I want to show you some of the basics of the Flyers. And again, we can edit the flyer just like we edit tours and image sets. But remember that whatever changes you make to a flyer, as far as rearranging images, turning on and off images, are only affecting the flyer, not the other services. So for instance, if I wanted to turn on or off one of these images, maybe I don't want this one in here, maybe I don't want this one in here, but I want the others. So I save that and I keep those images. Now maybe I want this one to be here on the flyer. So I can drag and drop an image on the flyer screen. Again, I'm in Flyers and I'm rearranging images and turning on and off which images I want to be on the flyer, and it will not affect the virtual tour or the video. It only affects that particular service that I'm in, such as Flyers. Okay, once I've saved that, I've rearranged however I want it, I can now come to the top of the screen where our menu bar is, and I can look at the different flyer themes. Now I can just view the flyer as well right now and see the changes that I've made. Notice my images have changed to it goes in the order that the images are in. So if you want a different image as the second image, rearrange them in the flyer screen and it will rearrange them on the flyer. Now we can add more text information here if we want this to fill in more information on the flyer, or we can leave it as it is, and we can even choose a different flyer theme. So under Flyers, click on Themes and choose a different theme such as Flyer 2, and it'll show you what that looks like as a representative. It's not exact, but it's a representative of what it's going to look like. I can save that and now view the flyer again, and notice we've changed the flyer design. Okay? Close this, go back and choose a different flyer, save it, and view the flyer. So you have different flyer themes that you can use. Notice how it's changed the look and design of my information on the bottom right there, where the description is. All of this has been changed to fit this particular flyer design. Now remember I said that there's single and two-sided flyers. So if I change it to a two-sided flyer and then I view the flyer, now I have the first page and the second page. We're improving the flyers, we're adding new flyers. The flyer area is a section, quite frankly, that we are kind of a work in progress, in the sense that we're listening to our customers and we're making changes to that all the time to make it even better. So in this area, I hope you like it. I think it's much better than just the e-flyer that we had before, but we're making more improvements to this all the time. You can print the flyer directly. It's designed now not to just be an e-flyer. It's designed actually to be a print flyer. So you can print the flyer, you can view the flyer, you can download the flyer, you can change the theme of the flyer. So if you want a different color scheme, save that. Again, it's just a color scheme. View that flyer now and notice that the flyer has changed. It's realigned it depending on that theme, so you can get a different look and feel depending on the different theme that you're using. Okay? So play around with the different flyers, play around with the different themes, see the one that you like the most. You can save them, and you can save them as a custom theme, and you can make even more changes to them by going into the property information from the flyer screen, and you'll now see a customized flyer here where you can add columns of information into your flyer and edit the flyer design with custom columns. So it's got a lot of features just right there on the flyers, and maybe that's another area where we can do a custom webinar just on the flyer section, especially after we add a few more to that section. So this is an area that you'll see improvements on over the next weeks and months as well. Play with it, see which one you like the best. You can make that one your default. And I'm going to bring us back to the top of the screen to the flyers, where we're looking at the flyers tab. This was the last place we were. And remember that this is where you can edit the flyer, view the flyer, print the flyer, and even download the flyer as a PDF. Videos tab is very similar, same look and feel as the other tabs. The main thing that you want to do on the video tab is turn on or off which images you want on the video. So maybe you want it to be a little shorter so it's not as long. If you have 30 or 40 images, I would suggest you turn some off and keep it under 20 images, maybe 30 at the very most. You can do that simply by turning them on and off. You can rearrange the images, and they will be rearranged just for the video. But again, they're just for the video. When you're in the video screen, it won't affect the flyer or the tour. Also, be aware that you want to make these changes before you turn on or off the distribute video here. Because when you turn on or off this video distribute, or on the video distribute, I should say, then it's going to create a video with the way you have it at that time and create that video overnight. When videos are created, they do take overnight to process, and by the morning, that video will be added to the virtual tour and will be uploaded to YouTube, AOL Video, Yahoo Video, and a lot of other video sites as well. If you then make changes to it later, you'll want to turn that distribute back on. It will have gone off because it's already distributed it, and you'll want to turn that back on so it will redistribute it with the changes that you made. You cannot edit videos on YouTube. You can only re-upload and replace the video that was on there previously with a new video. So that takes us through at least some of the basics of the tours, the flyer, the video. Coming back to the image sets, just a refresher that once you've your image set and your tour, you can finish it by going to the distribute menu, distributing the tour, sending the tour to your listing. If you want to post it to Craigslist, simply click on the post to Craigslist, right-click in this area with the HTML code and copy that code. Go down to the bottom and find where your city-state is that you want to post it into, and click on Continue. We've got the instructions here, so it should be easy to follow, but it's basically right-click when you have that red arrow there, because it won't let you change anything in this HTML code screen. You simply right-click your mouse, copy it, then go to the Craigslist city-state that you want to post in, and then click on the continue on the bottom of the screen and follow the Craigslist menus to post that virtual tour flyer to Craigslist. So that's how you're going to do that. You're going to distribute the tour, put it on your listing, and I think that pretty much wraps up at least an introduction, because we're running out of time here, to VirtualTourCafe 3.0. Some of the new features that I think you're going to really enjoy are the new easy design. Everything is what is called responsive design, meaning that you can view, edit, and watch or even create virtual tours from your mobile devices, tablet, phones, etc. The Virtual Tour Cafe itself, as well as the tours, are responsive design using what's called HTML5, which is the newest technology available. So no longer do we require what is called Flash. That's an old technology. That's what a lot of virtual tour services use. We've moved beyond that Flash, and now we are what's called responsive, so that everything you do in Virtual Tour Cafe is in the responsive design. We've also changed it so that you can add images, videos, panoramas, and you can rearrange them in any order that you want them to be in. We've added a lot of features, and the new print flyers is one of those that will continue to improve and make even better for you. Our goal is to always be trying to improve and make things easier and better to help you market your properties and be as successful as you possibly can. Your success helps us be successful. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to participate in this webinar, to be here today. Let us know afterwards. Email us, call us, but the best thing to do is to email us and let us know, how'd you like the webinar? Is there any questions you have that we can answer for you on a one-on-one basis? We won't have the opportunity to answer those on the webinar today. We have too many people in it, but we do want to be able to answer your questions. So please email us any questions you have. Let us know how we can help you. And if you haven't done it already, sign up for your free Virtual Tour Cafe account going through to the products page on your FlexMLS Space Coast. So again, thank you so much. We wish you all the very best. Make 2016 your best year ever. You still have almost an entire half a year left. Go out and get a new listing and make it your own. Thanks so much and have a great day.